Well, I'm visiting with Mike Nosko, who's the executive director of ISSA Canada. Mike, how are things up north?
Things are the best they can be for a Friday morning, Jeff. Thank you for asking.
Well, the reason why we're getting together on this Friday is because yesterday, Thursday, June 17th, you had a virtual experience called ISSA Show Canada 2021. So I don't think we need to tell people why you did it as a virtual conference with the pandemic going on. I believe last year you didn't have it at all because the pandemic had just hit. But how'd it go? Tell us a little bit about the show.
So, Jeff, as you know, we've lost our ISSA Canada show 2 years in a row. That hurt us, and we felt alienated from our membership and from the industry. So we needed to do something this year, and we learned from I don't know, people, trade show operators, other associations, of what they actually had to experience when they were doing their virtual events, online trade shows, and webinars, like over the past 16 months. And we had to approach our members to find out what their thoughts and feelings were going to be about some kind of a virtual event, and especially taking space at a virtual trade show. We had an overwhelming response that the people were not going to support that venue. It was good in the beginning, but toward the end of the year, this past year, people were zoomed out. It was no longer appealing to exhibitors. The ROI wasn't there, so we couldn't really do that. So that was first and foremost. But we knew we needed to engage with our audience. So, we put together a program that would appeal to all our market segments. So we wanted something strong for the manufacturing distribution sector. We wanted something strong for service providers. We wanted something strong for our long-term care and our executive housekeeper industry, and the property and facility managers. Those were the key four components of what we did for our show this year. And we put together a pretty dynamite package, and based on the amount of attendees, which was somewhere in the area of 850, we were pretty happy with the end results, Jeff.
Yeah, share some highlights. What were some of the topics that people took away, and is the content available online now?
So we will have the entire session, the entire event, the virtual event will be available to people that want to view it on the ISSA Canada website, and we're going to share that with you guys in the US as well, so that anybody could take a look at it later on, Jeff. As for some of the highlights, our content was at such a high level. We thought we had some really good speakers to talk about some exceptional topics. And there was something in it for everybody, I believe, as I mentioned earlier, for the four segments. So you could join the trade show and take in one event if it interested you, because that would be if that was the only one that you were interested in. So most of the sessions we had between 200 and 250 people watching those events. So we know that whole group came on, came off, so forth and so on. But that's how that worked. And our BSC Council did a fabulous job with Ken Hilder at the helm. They just talked about some pretty amazing things that are taking place within the service provider world. So, and our opening keynote with Tom Gale, who you may know, you've heard of him in the U.S.
Yeah, and I was there for that part.
Yeah, and it was really informative. So those are some of the highlights that I think that we had, and the fact that we addressed our market. So that was really important.
Yes. Tell us about your sponsors and how you valued their participation.
So our sponsors were amazing, Jeff. They believed in what we were trying to do, and they supported us. As you know, it's very difficult to get sponsors for virtual events. It was a challenge, but we limited the amount of sponsorships to 12. And then we gave them the maximum amount of exposure that we could give them. So we weren't sure, again, how successful we're going to be at the end of a pandemic. Who knew that there would be 850 people that would still tune into to this kind of an event? So we think our sponsors were very, very happy. We had the 12 sponsors, and I don't know if you want to hear them, but know who they are, but we can save those for a later date, or I can share them with you if you want to.
Go ahead and say who they are.
So we had at the platinum level, we had Clorox Pro and Scandinavian Building Services. At the gold level, we had Charlotte Products, Nilfisk Canada, Rubbermaid Commercial Products, SC Johnson, and Zytec. And at the silver level, we had Candroid Robotics, International Power Systems, and Swish Maintenance. And they were delighted. They supported us, and came away pretty happy.
Yeah, and I'm sure they appreciate you mentioning who they are. So a little added value there.
Exactly.
Hey, Mike, as we wrap this up, tell us about what is next for trade show enthusiasts.
So we have our trade show booked for 2022 in Toronto at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. The really interesting part of that is that the show has been almost sold out for 2020. Basically all our exhibitors held their money with us, Jeff, and we have their booth space on hold for the 2022 venue. And there's maybe 10% of the show left to sell. So we're going to look at possibly expansion for that event, and hopefully we'll finally be able to get people together.
Well, it sounds like you have some loyal followers up there in Canada if they're sticking with you and they're waiting for that show coming up in 22. I do hope we see you at ISSA Show North America in Vegas in November. I know with the pandemic winding down, I think odds are good we'll see you, Mike.
I'm hoping so, Jeff. I'm hoping that we have a contingent of Canadians that will do us proud at the show.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks a lot.